held without bond. I am going to order.
Your Honor, I have a
No.
There are cases that shake a community, and then there are cases that rattle something deeper, cases that force us to confront the darkest possibilities of human behavior, the fragility of trust within a family, and the way truth can become twisted when too many hands try to control a narrative. The story of 22-year-old Rebecca K. Park, a very pregnant young mother from Wexford County, Michigan, is one of those cases happening right now. It's disturbing, deeply confusing, and the more we learn, the clearer it becomes that nothing about what happened to Rebecca is simple. She was just days away from giving birth, days, when she disappeared last month on November 3rd, 2025. Her phone was ditched. The $2,000 she had received that day vanished along with her. Surrounding her were people with troubling histories, a fiance with a violent record, a biological mother whose stories never quite lined up, a sister arrested for lying to investigators, and now the biological mother, her biological mother and stepfather, sitting behind bars charged with her murder. And through it all remains the most haunting question of all: the whereabouts of her baby boy, still completely unknown. This is not a case about a woman who wandered off. This is a case about a woman who did not come home, who never had a chance to come home, never had a chance to celebrate the birth of her baby boy. She almost did. She was having contractions, went to the hospital, but the hospital sent her home because it just wasn't quite time. We'll get into that later. But what this case is about, it's about a family that has imploded. And I say this lightly, imploded under the weight of secrets, contradictions, and arrests. And it's time to go through everything we know so far. And there's a lot to go through as investigators continue to work and learn exactly what happened to Rebecca and her baby boy. Every story we cover here at Hidden True Crime starts with one question: why? Why did this happen? Why to them? And sometimes, why do I keep coming back to stories like these? The truth is, because behind every crime, there is something human, very human. If we can understand that, maybe we can understand a bit more about what it means to live among both light and dark, and maybe we can learn a little bit more about ourselves. My name is Lauren Matthias, and this is Hidden True Crime. Rebecca, known to those who loved her as Becca, was born on August 19th, 2003 to her biological parents, her mother, Courtney Bartholomew, and her father, Fabian Strong. Her early life was a difficult one. By the time she was a year old, she and her siblings were placed into foster care. They were eventually adopted by Stephanie Park, who raised Rebecca and her sister Kimberly and their brother. Stephanie, Becca's adoptive mother, described Rebecca through the lens of a mother who had watched her daughter struggle and grow. She said, quote, "Apparently she had some mental illnesses and some troubles. She was a loving person, but she had her problems. She deserves to be remembered as the sweet girl that she was when she was younger," end quote. In July of 2022, at the age of 19, Rebecca had her first baby, a little boy named Justice, followed by a second son, Nicholas, born October 29th, 2023. Both boys have been adopted by Rebecca's adoptive mother, Stephanie Park, and live with Stephanie alongside Becca's sister, Kimberly's 1-year-old daughter. And then there was the baby on the way, the third son, whom Rebecca planned to name Richard Scott Lee after her fiance, Richard Fowler. They were living in a mobile home owned by Fowler's father, Richard Allen, in Manton, Michigan. Her due date was November 18th, 2025. She was 38 weeks pregnant, full term, carrying a child who could have been born at any moment. To many people who knew Rebecca, she was a young woman who'd been dealt a tough deck, but was full of hope about becoming a mother again. She was trying to rebuild parts of her life, planning for the arrival of her baby boy, and navigating relationships that, as we now know, were complicated and tangled in ways most people could not imagine. In the days before she vanished, Rebecca's life looked like those final anxious weeks of pregnancy that many mothers know all too well. Hospital visits, contractions picking up, uncertainty about when things might begin. Just one day before she went missing, she went to the hospital believing labor had started. She was only 1 centimeter dilated, though. So what did the hospital do? They sent her home. She was almost at the finish line. Her fiancé, Richard, said they were excited about the baby and planning for his arrival. But Richard, he also came with a long, very dark history. Multiple sex-related convictions, including offenses involving minors and incapacitated victims. Yeah. And behind the scenes, people close to the situation said CPS had been involved with the family before. Her older children were already, again, out of her custody, adopted by her adoptive mother, Stephanie. And there was widespread community speculation, though not officially confirmed, that CPS may have been preparing to intervene again when Rebecca gave birth. Whether that was true or not, the pressure around Rebecca in those final days was enormous. Full term with a fragile support system. And then came in inheritance. Rebecca had reportedly recently reconnected with her biological mother, Courtney Bartholomew, who lived about 20 minutes from Manton in Boone Township. So Courtney, the biological mother of Rebecca, said that Rebecca received roughly $2,000 in inheritance money on November 3rd, the same day she went missing. Rebecca supposedly left Courtney's house carrying that cash. Courtney told multiple people through differing versions of details that after they ran errands together, Rebecca said someone was coming to pick her up. Courtney said Rebecca apologized, walked outside, and got into a dark-colored vehicle. According to her, that was the last time she saw Rebecca.
It's like, Mom, hold up. I got somebody coming. I'm like, what do you mean you got somebody coming? And she's like, I got somebody coming to get me.
Courtney says soon a black car with tinted windows she's never seen before pulls up.
She got out of the car, turned around, opened the door back up. She's like, Mom, I'll be back. And she got in the car. They crept up by my truck real slow. And by the time they got to the front of my truck, they took off.
Courtney says she and Becca have a somewhat rocky relationship. Becca was in foster care in her youth, but she loves Becca and was looking forward to her grandson's birth. A $10,000 reward is being offered from a family friend for any information leading to her safe return.
The detective is coming out today, and we are going to go through all the tips that have come in, what he thinks he should chase down, and what he just thinks he should disregard. Because there is hundreds of tips coming in.
She's so pretty, too.
But nothing that's solid.
Becca's younger half-sister, Kimberly Park, says they're close.
We talk at least 2 to 3 times a day, if not more.
Kimberly says she doesn't know what to think. She says Becca has disappeared before, but she usually kept in contact with someone.
I honestly try not to think about what happened. I mean, she's disappeared before, but someone always knew where she was. And it was usually me hiding her out.
She hopes that's what's happened in this case, but Becca needs to contact her.
This is not good.
Bugs me every day. I'm losing sleep.
But that version of events is complicated because Courtney reportedly changed details multiple times when speaking to others. Different descriptions of the vehicle, different explanations for what happened that night, different behaviors depending on who she was talking to. And then comes the detail that immediately raised red flags. Rebecca's phone was found the next day, abandoned in a road across from where? Courtney's house, her biological mother's house. So now the picture looks like this: a pregnant woman carrying $2,000, leaving in an unknown vehicle, her phone discarded near the home, and she never returned. And when you add in what we later learned about the people closest to her, this story becomes even darker. I don't know who needs to hear this, but dinner should not feel like a daily stressor. And yet somehow every night I find myself pacing around the kitchen, opening and closing cabinets like new ingredients might magically appear. The chaos ends with Tovala, This podcast episode is sponsored by Tovala. Tovala is a smart meal delivery service, fresh meals, and a smart oven that literally cooks everything for you. Yeah, it's here, finally. You just scan the meal's QR code, pop it in, and the oven does the rest. It steams, bakes, broils, all automatically. No guesswork, no babysitting, no, did I burn the chicken again moments. The other night, I made their herb roasted chicken with creamy pumpkin risotto in my Tovala, and it tasted like something that would take me hours, except it didn't. It was effortless, perfectly cooked, and the kitchen stayed clean. It seriously feels like cooking from the future, except it is happening in my kitchen right now. Their meals are chef crafted, made with real fresh ingredients, and they taste like actual homemade food, just without the headache. Their oven even works with store-bought items like Eggo waffles or Amy's frozen meals. You scan the barcode, and it knows exactly how to cook it. If you're like most people, you want to eat better without putting in a ton of effort. We got to make it easy. Tovala makes that possible. It saves me at least 45 minutes every night, and I am truly obsessed. For a limited time, because you are a hidden true crime listener, during Tavala's Black Friday sale, you can get a free Tovala Smart Oven when you order meals 6+ times by heading to tovala.com/hidden and using my code HIDDEN. That is a free Tovala Smart Oven when you go to tovala.com/hidden and use promo code HIDDEN. One last time, that's TOVALA, Tovala.com, promo code HIDDEN for your free smart oven. Remember, with Tovala, dinner is taken care of. Shortly after Rebecca was reported missing, her family pleaded publicly for help. Stephanie, Becca's adoptive mother, spoke out asking the community to pray for her daughter and the baby and held onto the hope that Rebecca would be found alive. But at the same time, she said she had not believed Rebecca ran away with the baby. The family's focus was on bringing her home. And as investigators began learning more, the cast of people surrounding Rebecca only made the case more troubling. Nearly every person directly connected to Rebecca at the time of her disappearance is either a registered sex offender, has a criminal history, or has given inconsistent or suspicious statements. This isn't a judgment. This is fact. So let's walk through what we know, because public records show that Rebecca's biological father, Fabian Strong, is a registered sex offender. Her fiance, 43-year-old Richard Fowler, so Rebecca's fiance, 43-year-old Richard Fowler, has multiple convictions, which I've already mentioned, including sexual conduct with minors, assault of an incapacitated victim, accosting a child for immoral purposes, and additional sex-related charges. Community members also claim he previously had a relationship with Rebecca's mother, Courtney, before dating Rebecca. Yeah, did you hear that? I mean, let me say this. This detail is the one thing not confirmed by police, so not yet a confirmed fact. But did you hear that? That possibly there was a relationship with Rebecca's mother, Courtney, before Richard dated Rebecca. Not confirmed. But it is repeatedly stated by people who know the family. Her sister, Kimberly, is also said to have a child with her mother's first cousin and would give eerie statements later in this investigation. And Courtney, the last person to claim she saw Rebecca alive, is married to her stepfather, Bradley. Bradley is also a sex offender, found guilty of possessing child material and third-degree attempted criminal conduct with a person ages 13 through 15. Nearly every figure in Rebecca's immediate orbit has a criminal history, a motive to lie, or a connection to chaos. Still, investigators treated this as a missing person case, and the search was massive. Law enforcement used drones, canines, air support, deputies on foot, and volunteers who combed miles of rough terrain. At the same time, the sheriff remained tight-lipped, saying they had to protect the integrity of the case. But behind that caution was something else. If you were following the case online, Courtney's behavior was, to put it lightly, chaotic. She fought with strangers online. She blocked community searchers. She accused volunteers of trying to insert themselves. Yeah. Again, the grandmother of the unborn baby. Can you imagine this happening? the biological mother of Rebecca, she posted her own alibi video featuring her minor son instead of giving it to police. And she targeted a woman in Florida claiming she'd slept with her husband, Brad, even though that woman was not from Michigan. I mean, we're not even done yet. While the community was desperately searching for Rebecca, a random Facebook account also began commenting that Rebecca had already been found. Every time someone questioned this account, the account blocked them. Many believed someone was intentionally trying to derail public searches or muddy the waters. And when you zoom out and you look at the whole picture, yeah, this wasn't just a missing persons case. It was an avalanche of dysfunction, dishonesty, and this online interference happening. On November 19th, the Wexford County Sheriff's Office publicly addressed the issue. They said misinformation, rumors, and the online vitriol were actively interfering with the investigation. I mean, I can only imagine. They essentially said, we can't share more because everyone is making this harder. And that was a turning point because from that moment on, law enforcement locked down information completely. And then the moment everything changed. On November 25th, nearly 3 weeks after she went missing, volunteers searching the Manistee National Forest located a body. One of those volunteers was Rebecca's biological father, Fabian Strong.
We came out, we went down, we drove down as far as we thought, we got out, we looked around. Then this white truck came up to us again, an older gentleman and a 20-year-old, some young boy came up and said that they needed help and wanted to show me a video. And we just had them take us to whatever the video that they wanted to show us. And the son, or the young boy, or the 20-year-old did not want the dad to go up, and asked if I could go up and see if it was a mask or if it was really somebody, and it was Rebecca.
Authorities confirmed that the body was believed to be Rebecca. She had been stabbed to death. And even more horrific, her baby was not with her. 3 days after her due date, but she had not given birth. Her stomach had been sliced open.
Was it a white truck with a red topper?
And we knew it. We did. We knew it.
It's so far down there.
Like, it's almost we walked all this way.
Like this, and there's
mud.
You gotta go past that.
You gotta go way past it, way past. Literally, I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you, they literally got out of their car
And dumped her body.
They drug her about 15 feet. They lifted up black dirt. They moved all the leaves. I can tell you exactly what it was. Nobody wanted to go up to it, so I have to because it looked like Halloween.
I did.
And
That's why I sent
but
you
when
guys,
I first
'cause I
walked
can't.
up to it, the young boy said, "There's a blue card. Do you see the blue card?" I said, "I see the blue card."
He said, "Do you see the mask?"
Do you see the mask? I said, "I do, but I'm going to walk up to it. I'm a good person. I know I'm legit. I can do this. I'm going to walk up to it." And yes, the animals have ate at her cheeks, but her face is all there. The animals.
Because it's so cold.
And her stomach. And their stomach's gutted.
So the baby's
stomach,
not there.
I don't think so.
I don't think
I got this close.
I mean, it's her stuff's coming.
It's yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me see it.
That white truck.
I'm thinking it's the one that's now underneath the carpet.
Yes, that's the one they've been guarding. That's their truck. Yes, there is evidence in that truck. That's the truck they used to bring.
They were talking about pulling the seats out.
They did, but they're not going to get rid of everything. There's still shit in there. I know there is. We've been in that truck.
I've been in that truck. Brad brought me right up in here. Can I see that? This is
You fucking murderers. Oh my God.
I wonder if my cop's here.
Oh my God.
You know,
So
I'm a grandma and a mom, okay?
yeah.
You know how when you go to a funeral and you see somebody and they're at peace? Like, I feel like I got a sixth sense a little bit too.
Yeah.
You know when somebody looks like they're at peace?
Yeah.
Her eyes were closed. Her eyes were closed. Her eyes were closed, and she was like this, you guys. Her legs were together, and she was like this.
They posed her right there.
She's right off the road.
She's right off the road.
That nobody's seen it.
The guy that picked us up in that red truck, that old guy, and he said he lives down there. He said he was just on this road a couple days ago. You would have seen it then.
Then maybe they moved it. They moved the body.
They had to have moved it because there's like this, you guys. There's a drag mark.
And it's fresh. Okay, they moved it. So they moved the body down there, and that's why they told us. That's why they said last night. Yes, I got it. It's all done now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So it was where we brought you down there?
You guys never took us.
You guys never took us. We just left.
She took you, right?
No, I took the
No,
other
last
people.
you guys
The
were
police were
talking
at
about
Grandma's,
it.
and we were like, fuck it.
Yeah,
we don't want
they
nothing
took
to do
off
with this.
'cause I went
We'll
to
just
go
take
look
off.
for you.
Okay.
So
oh,
we
so
went-
you, oh, okay. So
we
you
went about our
guys,
business.
so you guys were down there. You went
Where the
down there
mud
to the
circle is?
trail.
Yes,
Where the mud circle?
That's where we said down there.
And we go past
I was-
that.
I
I was looking at the mud, and this truck came this way and came to me and said, "Can you help us? Help us?" Then they took us back that way, going back more that way,
Okay, so
and then
I went-
far.
We're like, yeah, we'll go
We're
with you.
talking
Let's
far.
go.
We've been there all day, dude. We've been there all day.
all the way straight back. So yeah.
It's over. It's over now. It's over. And
I mean, it's over
we
now.
prayed. We prayed over her.
We sat with her.
We did. And you know what? We're not religious. I'm going to tell you, we've been fighting this to come out here for about weeks. And we said, you know what? Today,
We said something new needs to happen. Let's
we
fresh. Let's just
we
go
just
out
need to
there.
go out there.
guys so
You know, we just need to go. And it ain't
Because
like
I
us to get in
couldn't do
anybody's business. You know?
I'm so glad. I mean, I'm not saying I'm glad. I didn't know how I was going to be able to handle it when I didn't find it, but like we just wanted her found.
Right.
They moved that body there last night.
They had to. You guys, the dirt is so fresh, it's black. You know how when you
Yeah.
pull something
Yeah.
and you're cleaning your yard up?
It's snowed. It's snowed. It's
leaves
rained.
have fell.
It's leaves have all
no
fell.
leaves. There's no
There
leaves.
should not be
Except for
no
on her.
empty spot.
Like they try to cover up?
Somebody was doing this.
And
They
they
were
put wood on
dragging.
her.
They had their
I feel like
PayPal
they were
card
gonna
in their
set her on
pocket,
fire.
And they
were
lost
pulling
it.
it, and
And they
dropped
lost
right
it.
there, right
Yep,
by where
right by-
where the thing is.
I knew it was there.
They don't want us here.
I know.
Can you all do me a favor and like maybe move down? I think there's a church right down there. If you guys want to go down there, that'd be great.
Just down to the church.
A full-term newborn missing.
Earlier today at approximately 2:16 p.m., a body was discovered in the Manistee National Forest not far from here. Currently the Wexford County Sheriff's Office, the Michigan State Police, and the Michigan State Police Crime Lab are investigating that scene. The young lady that was found resembles Rebecca Parks, a young lady that went missing on November 4th, and we are currently actively investigating that.
Creators online also pointed out some alarming statements from her sister, Kimberly. So Kimberly allegedly said on a TikTok live, "I'm afraid so." That's in quotes. "I'm afraid so," when asked if Rebecca was dead before Rebecca's body was found. Now, Kimberly posted a Facebook message about Rebecca being found minutes before any official confirmation.
Sweetheart, I'm going to promise you you're not, like, time is of the essence right now.
Where she is, Kimberly. Help law enforcement bring your sister home, please.
Kimberly, without saying too much, is it safe to say she's no longer with us?
I'm afraid so.
Okay. Is it safe to say she overdosed?
She didn't OD.
She did not OD?
No.
Kimberly, I want to talk to you a minute. Kimberly.
Oh my God.
It's me, Dora. Will you please go down to the sheriff's office? Please, I'm begging you, Kimberly, woman to woman right now. Please, and let's get Rebecca home.
And after Rebecca was found, the investigation shifted instantly. I have to tell you about something that genuinely changed the way I feel in my own clothes. For years, bra and underwear have been one of my biggest pain points. Digging straps, rolling bands, fabric that never quite sits right. But when I finally tried the Fits Everybody collection from SKIMS, I understood the hype. It feels unreal, like wearing nothing at all. I'm honestly kicking myself for being one of the last people to try SKIMS because this underwear is game-changing. I'm already replacing my entire drawer. It's that comfortable. My personal favorite, the Fits Everybody Triangle Bralette. I wear it on long reporting days, during travel, everywhere, because the support is amazing without even feeling tight or suffocating. And the fabric, I don't know what magic they've put into it, but it melts into your skin. It's truly unlike anything I've ever worn. So if you've been curious, this is your sign. Shop the SKIMS Fits Everybody collection at skims.com/hidden. After you place your order, make sure to let them know that we sent you. You choose podcast in the survey and then select Hidden True Crime in the dropdown. And if you're already holiday shopping, the SKIMS Holiday Shop is officially open at skims.com. The FBI was brought in and arrests began. On November 25th, hours after the body was found, her fiance, Richard Fowler, was arrested, but not on murder charges, on drug charges, and held on a $1 million bond as a habitual offender. And then, a day later, on November 26th, her sister Kimberly was arrested and arraigned on charges of tampering with evidence, lying to police during a violent crime investigation, and filing a false felony report. Her bond was $750,000 cash. Investigators called her a high flight risk.
Kimberly Park.
All right. So that's Kimberly Park, presumably Rebecca Park's sister.
Ladies and gentlemen, both here in the courtroom, for the media, and those on live stream, the court has an ethical duty to make sure that the defendants in these cases are able to obtain a fair trial. The court is well aware of the publicity that this case has received across the country and perhaps around the world. So in order to protect the defendant's interests in this case, the court is going to take the courtroom off of live stream, and we will only deal with what is here in the courtroom. I'm also ordering that any media present not live stream the proceedings. The court has no way to protect that anything that is being live streamed is not out there for perpetuity. So for those reasons, I'm not authorizing you to live stream.
And then just a few days later, on November 30th, late at night, Courtney, so Rebecca's biological mother, Courtney, and her husband, Brad, were arrested. The charges were not immediately disclosed, but the sheriff confirmed the arrests were directly related to Rebecca's case. Their home had already been searched, with neighbors reporting heavy police activity. When the case reached court for arraignment on Monday, the prosecutor emphasized how delicate and devastating it was and asked for more time. She said, quote, "If there was ever a case where circumstances justify a delay of any type, this is the case. This is as serious as it gets. It's as horrible as it gets to preserve the integrity of the case," end quote.
If there was ever a case where there are circumstances that justify a delay of any type, it's this case. This is as serious as it gets. It's as horrible as it gets. And to preserve the integrity of the case.
The arraignment was pushed to Tuesday. And now, after all of these arrests, all of this chaos, all of these shifting stories, the timeline stands. So on November 3rd, Rebecca is last seen near midnight, reportedly entering a dark vehicle. On November 4th, Rebecca officially reported missing. Phone found near the home. Early November, searches intensify. Police and volunteers out looking for her, scouring the area. And then on November 13th, the sheriff urges Rebecca to reach out, treats this as a possible voluntary disappearance. And then on November 19th, the sheriff publicly condemns misinformation interfering with the case. On November 25th, volunteers find a body believed to be Rebecca. And then that same evening, November 25th, fiance Richard Fowler is arrested the very day that volunteers find her body. The next day, November 26th, her sister, Kimberly Park, is arrested. On November 29th, the autopsy confirms that the body is indeed Rebecca, but yes, her baby boy is missing. On November 30th, Courtney and Brad are arrested. On December 1st through 2nd, court hearings are scheduled, charges pending. After everything, the searches, the silence, the statements, the online chaos, we are left with a chilling truth that Rebecca did not vanish on her own. Her baby did not disappear without someone knowing where he is. And the last people to see her alive are her own family, and they are now behind bars. There's also a search warrant document circulating online for Courtney and Brad's property. Well, it hasn't been officially confirmed. It is circulating. It does appear to be legitimate, though it's important to remember that I have not been able to verify it. According to the document, though, the search warrant authorizes investigators to search the property for and seize evidence, specifically including DNA and trace evidence such as hairs, fibers, clothing, and footwear that may contain DNA, including but not limited to bloodstains or other forms of biological material. Physical property containing DNA, blood, hair, or fingerprints, including items like trash cans, sinks, drains, toilet drains, bedding, laundry, and any other items capable of holding such evidence. Investigators may use tools to recover, develop, or view this evidence. Written and electronic records related to the cause of injury or death, including cell phones, computers, tablets, thumb drives, electronic surveillance equipment, and any other digital media capable of storing data. Suspected burial sites and human remains, including fetal remains, as well as any materials or tools that could be used to dispose of remains, including vehicles used for transport. This warrant, if authentic, indicates a very thorough investigation covering both physical and digital evidence. So now let's go through what happened in court during the arraignment Tuesday, because we now know much more about what investigators believe happened to Rebecca. And I want to warn you, what came out in court is deeply disturbing. 4 weeks, the public only knew fragments of the investigation, rumors arrested, hints from the sheriff, and the looming fact that Rebecca's newborn son was still missing. But during the arraignment, prosecutors laid out for the first time a detailed, harrowing account of what they say unfolded on the night of November 3rd. And according to investigators, Rebecca's own biological mother and stepfather are indeed responsible. In court, 47-year-old Bradley Bartholomew and 40-year-old Courtney Bartholomew were formally charged with multiple counts, including first-degree premeditated murder. Prosecutors allege that not only was Rebecca murdered, but her unborn son was killed as well. According to the charging documents, Bradley faces 8 felony counts, including first-degree premeditated murder, felony murder, torture, conspiracy to commit torture, assault on a pregnant individual intentionally causing miscarriage or stillbirth, conspiracy to commit that assault, unlawful imprisonment, removal of a dead body without a medical examiner's permission.
Mr. Bartholomew, did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office either yesterday or today?
Yes.
I have a complaint that alleges that on or about November 3rd, 2025, in Antioch Township and or Boone Township of Wexford County, that is alleged in count number 1 that you committed the offense of homicide, murder in the first degree, premeditated. That is a felony punishable by up to life in prison without parole and DNA to be taken upon arrest. In count number 2, it's alleged that you committed the offense of homicide, felony murder. That is a felony punishable by up to life without parole and DNA to be taken upon arrest. Both of those charges involved Rebecca Park. In count number 3, it is alleged that you committed the offense of torture. That is a felony punishable by up to life or any term of years, and consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750.506 if the assault happened in a place of confinement. In count number 4, it is alleged that you committed the offense of conspiracy to commit torture. That is a felony punishable by up to life and or any term of years, and a $10,000 fine and consecutive sentence may be imposed if it happened in the place of confinement. In count number 5, it's alleged that you committed the offense of assault a pregnant individual intentionally causing miscarriages, stillbirth. That is a felony punishable by life or any term of years. In count number 6, it is alleged that you committed the offense of conspiracy to commit assault a pregnant individual intentionally causing miscarriage or stillbirth. That is a felony punishable by life or any term of years and or $10,000. And in count number 7, it is alleged that you committed the offense of unlawful imprisonment. That is a felony punishable by up to 15 years in prison and or a fine of $20,000. And count number 8 is alleged that you committed the offense of dead bodies removing without medical examiner permission. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year and or $500. Additionally, the prosecution has elected to charge you as a habitual fourth offender, which means that you have at least 3 prior either attempted or completed felonies in your past. That makes those felonies punishable by more than 5 years up to life offenses. Do you understand those charges and potential penalties?
Yes.
On felony complaints, you have certain rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or write can and will be used against you. You also have the right to have an attorney present.
Courtney faces the exact same 8 charges. Each of the felony charges carries the possibility of life in prison. Both appeared in 84th District Court and both were ordered held without bond. During the arraignment, Wexford County Prosecutor Johanna Carey described the alleged crime in stark, unforgiving terms. While arguing for no bond, she told the judge, quote, "This is a case of premeditated torture and murder. These 2 individuals created a plan, conducted research. Mr. Bartholomew brought Rebecca to their home, forced her into another vehicle, and took her into the woods where they stabbed her, forced her to lie on the ground while they cut her baby out, ultimately causing her death and the death of the baby. This is frankly evil personified." End quote.
I hate to repeat it, but to create a record in this case as well, I think no bond or being held without bond is appropriate. Again, this is a case of premeditated torture and murder. These 2 individuals created a plan, conducted research. Ms. Bartholomew brought Rebecca to their home. They forced her into another vehicle and took her into the woods where they stabbed her, forced her to lie on the ground while they cut her baby out, and ultimately caused her death and the death of the baby. They then left Rebecca in the woods. This is frankly evil personified, and I would ask the court to hold her without bond.
The courtroom was silent as she spoke those words. The judge, Corey Wiggins, agreed, saying bond could not be justified in a case of this magnitude, and both defendants were returned to custody. Preliminary exams for Courtney and Brad are scheduled for December 16th at 2 p.m. Outside, fresh snow covered the parking lot of the courthouse in Cadillac. Still, people came, friends, extended family, former partners, and community members who had searched for Rebecca over the past month. More than 50 people filled the gallery inside. Others stood pressed against the walls. Some vehicles in the lot bore messages written across their windows like, "Justice for Rebecca Park. Say her name, Rebecca K. Park," or "Justice for Becca and Baby Park." People hugged, some cried, some shook with anger. One man, Caleb Hudson, who said he dated Rebecca 2 years ago, he didn't mince words. He said, "I hope they get buried under the jail." He said that after he and Rebecca ended their relationship, she became engaged to Richard Fowler, who, along with Rebecca's sister Kimberly, is still in custody. The Attorney General's office and Attorney General Dana Nessel released a statement saying in part, quote, "Rebecca had everything to live for, and our hearts are with her loved ones as they endure this unthinkable loss," end quote. Nessel also said that, quote, "We are committed to working alongside the Wexford County Prosecuting Attorney's Office to ensure justice is pursued in this tragic case without delay. And Wexford County Prosecutor Johanna Carey said, quote, "This case involves a truly horrific homicide in which a young woman and her unborn child endured unimaginable suffering at the hands of the defendants. The brutality and disregard for human life displayed here is deeply troubling. While these remain allegations until proven in court, the evidence reflects an extraordinary level of callousness and violence. We look forward to presenting the full facts in court." It is alleged that on November 3rd, the couple lured Park, Courtney Bartholomew's biological daughter, who was approximately 38 weeks pregnant at the time, to their Wexford County home. The couple then allegedly tortured Park in an attempt to remove the unborn infant, resulting in the death of both. After an extensive search, Park's remains were found in the Manistee National Forest on November 25th. The Wexford County Prosecuting Attorney's Office is handling the prosecution of this case with the assistance of the Department of Attorney General. The Attorney General, Wexford County Prosecutor, and Wexford County Sheriff remind the public not to interfere with the ongoing investigation and to avoid all active investigation sites. Any individual who believes they have information to assist in the ongoing investigation may contact the tip line at 231-306-2072 or the Wexford County Sheriff's Department at 231-779-9219. At this point, so many questions remain unanswered. We still don't know exactly why this horrific tragedy even had to happen, let alone by somebody's own mother, allegedly. And we still don't know the location of baby Richard's remains. Many people online who claim to know the family have pointed to a history of drug use, including methamphetamine, and there is rampant speculation about possible motives. Some suggest that Courtney and Brad may have intended to profit from the baby, whether to support their drug habits or for some other reason. And given Brad's previous CSAM charges, others theorize that Rebecca's $2,000 inheritance could have been the trigger, the motive, and that perhaps when she refused to hand it over, it led to a violent confrontation. Speculation also surrounds Kimberly and Richard, her sister and fiance. Were they involved directly, or did they have knowledge of the crime afterward and help cover it up? There's no concrete confirmation yet. Adding another layer of uncertainty, the location where Rebecca's body was found also had reportedly been searched previously. And this raises the possibility that she may have been moved there after her death, further complicating the investigation. Regardless of the motive, whether it was greed, malice, or something else entirely that we don't yet know, the outcome is horrifying. Rebecca is gone, and her baby is gone. Even amidst all of this tragedy, many of us had prayed for at least a glimmer of hope that baby Richard might be found safe somewhere. That hope seems to be gone, and investigators have not publicly confirmed whether they have found any trace of him. The only certainty right now is that this is a twisted, deeply disturbing crime, and the path to justice will be long. The focus now turns to uncovering the truth. Why did this happen to Rebecca? What became of her baby? And the full extent of each person's involvement. With court dates set and preliminary hearings on the horizon, the community and the world watching, we will have to wait for more answers. But one thing is clear. This story has shaken Wexford County, and the search for justice is far from over.